Welcome to the Lost Legends update. I'm Mason, it's been a while. Well, apart from Dusk. Did you know when's the last time I ever talked about Shantae? Yeah, the one I talked about the announcement of the GBA game. About 3 years ago. This update will be a tad different because I'm already at a fork in the road on where to start. Should I start the ones that there's more Lost Shantae content that's been surfaced last year? Or the bit that I have a whole boatload of builds related to Shantae Risky's Revenge, also from last year. It was going to be both in one video, but looking over, I think the best course of action is to start with the smaller bits instead of an exhaustive observation of what looks like the entire development cycle of a DSi game spanning 10 months. And besides, this is an update video about the episode on cancelled Shantae games, not Risky's Revenge. So anyways, let's hop in. On the very 4th episode of Lost Legends, I talked briefly about the history of WayForward and their half-genie mascot Shantae. The game started out as a PS1 and PC title and was later made exclusively for the Game Boy Color, which is one of the most technically impressive titles for the system. In the main meat of the episode, I talked about Shantae's cancel entries, mainly said PS1, Risky Revolution for Game Boy Advance, Shantae DS, and the ever-elusive plug-and-play entry known as Shantae TV. The DS and Shantae TV had very little backstory from them, but from what I pieced out is that Shantae DS is an early name that would later become Risky's Revenge, and Shantae TV is a port of the GBA title that was already cancelled. Until 22 years later. The one problem is that during the episode's production, the only beta build of any Shantae game dumped was a demo for the GBC. Oh, guess what? Right out of the woodwork on February 24th to 26th, 2024, we got a whole Pirate's Booty, a treasure trove of beta Shantae builds, including ones that we haven't heard of. So let's start part 1 of this video with the newly surfaced Shantae titles that never was. Guess it's time to talk about pitch documents again. So pitch documents or pitch decks are brief presentations that are made to provide publishers/investors with their business plans, persuading them to fund the project. These usually contain several pages of text, detailing the basic info, marketing, budget, milestones, and the game-related stuff, like gameplay, features, story if any, and what platforms it's made for. Sometimes these pitch decks usually contain a build of the game in progress, the dev's previous accomplishments/involvements, concept arts, etc. However, pitch docs don't always come with a PDF or some booklet, like the one time Kazunori Yamauchi pulled off with a sentence about driving his car in his TV set. Then again, PowerPoint presentations are also an acceptable thing, even back in the 2000s to 2010s, and WayForward's pitch is one such thing. Unfortunately, the exact date for this one is lost to time, but reading through the contents, it's safe to say that this PowerPoint is made in around early 2011. Using a program that opens such files, in this case I'm using LibreOffice, the title is known as Shantae, Risky Pistols. Yeah, we went from Risky Revolution, Risky Waters, Risky Pistols, and now Risky's Revenge. Go figure. Thing is, this ain't no Metroidvania, but a run and gun, where they call it Shantae meets Contra. That end being a planned release on the PSN, XBLA, and the PSP2, which is later known as the PS Vita. In this page here, they showed off their accolades, like Risky's Revenge is the highest rated handheld game of 2010, Contra 4 being on Nintendo Power's top 10 DS games, and mentioning an unannounced HD masterpiece for the XBLA, which chances are could be Double Dragon Neon. The game's art style will ditch the chunky pixels and looked on par with the likes of Castle Crashers and Shank, have a more arcadey style romp, and fight nuclear-powered robots. The game's story will be told by the action and artful level design. Also, you could act like that bitch Grums and grief your mates for the hell of it. This Contra Shantae will feature both the half-genie girl and Risky Boots as playable characters, each with their range of weapons from melee, shooting, and full-screen supers, where the enemies get wiped out or turn into monkeys. Each moment in the game, players will decide if they want to stick together or fight each other. This applies to certain situations, like one is about to get sucked by the spider boss and the other player gets to wail on him. Or as friends, one could ride the magic carpet while the other is the gunner. As this excerpt puts it, the results are absurd, cutthroat, and often loaded with fan service, including retro gaming nods, some cheesecake, and the occasional fourth wall breaks. The game also plans for DLC, which includes extra characters, weapons, costumes, and a hard mode. As for the main plot of the game, this takes place after Risky's revenge, where the Ammo Baron is the main antagonist, and both Shantae and Risky had a mutual truce to take him down. It makes sense when Shantae is fully human, with pointy ears. But if I recall correctly, in Shantae and the Pirate's Curse, Ammo Baron is one of the antagonists, but his role is taken a back seat by being the first boss fight, and both girls working together is one of the key elements. Guessing they reused the idea from this. In case you're wondering, I don't think there's a prototype of this iteration laying around in WayForward's offices. Only these sketches and the PowerPoint on the ones associated to this title. Safe to say that the game didn't happen could be my wishful thinking, but the non-pixel artwork wouldn't come around until Half Genie Hero that came out years later. That may look fascinating, but what if I told you that this isn't the only canned Shantae title that was surfaced in this video? Yeah, we got not one cancelled Shantae surface, but 3. The other 2 are a DS title, and my white whale I talked about in the main episode, Shantae TV. This segment will be quite short because there's not a lot to talk about when covering these prototypes. So let's talk about the plug and play first. I'm shocked as you are when this was dropped, but we may have the Sunplus ROM courtesy of DevEd, but here's the problem. You can't play this one. You see, Shantae TV's S37 ROM is a Motorola S-Record file, which is used to program flash memory for microcontrollers. I'll send you the wiki page for basic knowledge. However, Dr. RNG fished out this music from the ROM, which is a remix version of Bandit Town. There's still no considerable information related to this on the fandom wiki, the Lost Media wiki, or the official website, so it's best to say that the game didn't go very far since this is a port of Shantae Advance, which was cancelled back then. Hell, we still don't know what the controller even looked like, that's how little info we got. There's also some text info found within the ROM that states that this is just a demo and nothing else. We'll just have to wait until said game was able to be emulated, or not. Chances are this plug and play doesn't have a lot of meat in it. Yeah, so when I said short, yeah, I mean this. Let's move on to the 3D one. Don't worry, the next one is playable. Apart from the plug and play, this DS build, along with the entire development of Risky's Revenge, is done by Leapfrog, and released by Maxi Bash, Red Bees, and RMC from the Rare Gaming Dump community. This is a bit of an oddball build, dated January 5th, 2007. From what I remember when I covered the brief history for the Shantae episode is that WayForward was experimenting on ideas on the first game. During the PS1/PC phases, Shantae was going to be like a 2.5D or 3D title. Guess they're doing the same thing during the early stages of developing the DS game too. Anyways, this tech demo here had 4 modes. The first one is likely a title screen of sorts. The second one is a platformer, which is a 2.5D side-scroller in a test environment. You can run by holding the Y button, jump with B, and there's no attacks or transformations implemented. If you fall off, it sends you back to the starting point. Free roaming is a full 3D exploration in an untextured wasteland. You can press the shoulder buttons to rotate the camera left and right, D-pad to move around, and general running and jumping are the same as the previous mode. Sadly, the environment doesn't let you respawn if you fall off the environment, so you're boned. Lastly, Diablo is a top-down affair, but the only way to move Shantae is use the touchscreen. Use the shoulder buttons to rotate the camera and A to jump. Environment is the exact same as the previous. This build is pretty bare bones and, what I keep iterating, this is just experimental. It's quite something. Bit disappointing that the former is unplayable, but this DS one is a glimpse of what kind of weird stuff they're planning to put on this character beyond the GBC game. Also, did you know that Shantae still never got a proper 3D title? Yeah, Half Genie Hero used 3D environments, but a full 3D adventure? Yeah, there's no spin-offs, no crossovers, but a bona fide 100% kosher Shantae adventure in the 3rd dimension. And we don't have those. Let's move on to some more pre-release stuff. As a bonus, we got some more Shantae concept arts plus screenshots, and updates to some of the other screenshots shown in the main episode. It turns out that those screenshots represented an early build of Shantae DS turns out to be fake, and nothing more than mock-ups. Even the newsletter I read is stated from 2008, and guessing that holds up since the earliest build we have for Risky's Revenge is dated March 2009. I think I already mentioned that in the main episode. But back to that. I never went a little deep, but since this shows off some early art meant to be used in the game, guess I'll take a look. These are taken from the same Shantae dump, and the screenshots shown were used in Nintendo Power. But now, we have the raw screens. As in, these are the actual bitmaps used for the magazine. But before we get to those screens, here's some of these screens shown in the main episode and then some. Unfortunately, these wonderful images are ruined due to the unforgivable sin to pixel art is to save these as JPEGs. Only for the first few images from Unseen 64. The others are from Hank Nieborg's personal portfolio. The first screen is Shantae in Lilac Fields, where the major difference is the HUD showing what's like a paper scroll with a few hearts. The second screen is Shantae meeting Risky and her merry tinkers in Tanglewood. Yeah, I got nothing. Shantae sprite, albeit JPEG, isn't sporting her black vest. Probably reused from the GBA iteration. Another is Shantae posing next to her house, with an unused harpy enemy looming behind her. Next is her fighting an unused water gal in the snowy mountains that's never used in the final game. I have a more clear image of the environment right here. The last one is Shantae casting a spell on that goblin in a cave. For Nieborg's artworks, I got several backgrounds. Keep this in mind that the environments shown are not likely used in any of the Risky's Revenge builds. The first one here is Tanglewood. The second is that cave, albeit with more clarity and reveal more space. Third is Shantae's home, but revealing more space. The locale is much smaller, and there are a couple palm trees on the water for some reason. Next is Pumpkin Fields, but the pillars shown are in a darker color. Lastly is Scuttletown, but only the gates are prominent here. Now, we get to the main screenshots. The first screenshot shows off Shantae's elephant form with 2 knights inside of an underground cave. The cave artwork is detailed and lively. Also note 2 things. The black numbers above Shantae are never used, and the pink night before being replaced with the more starkly contrasting blue. The labyrinth entrance is much different with a more lavender color. Also, Shantae's portrait used the title screen art, albeit in better quality. Plus, the game doesn't have any alias graphics, meaning that the corners of these text boxes don't have rounded edges, and the font here is thinner. Third screenshot takes place in the same kind of dark forest. The background while looking at the gameplay footage seems to take place in Tanglewood, but here's the thing. There are no skeletons, slime, these unused ghosts, and fancy fog clouds roaming here. I also saw there's an unused blue slime that's almost cut off. I assume that this might be an unused day to night cycle where the dangerous enemies might come in, similar to the GBC title. I am also betting that this is why the background is much darker and bluer. Next screen is the unused snowy mountain area. Them druids and skeleton are used, but the Dire Reapers are not. Wanna know the fun facts? This biome is later repurposed in Pirate's Curse as Frostbite Island, but the background and coloring takes place in the evening, while Pirate's Curse is in the daytime. The next one seems to be a beta room for the Squid Labyrinth, possibly. This plant monster is only shown in there. Here we are, another one, this time some mild story context. This looks like a different introduction cutscene, and two of these sentences were used in two different scenes. The expo where she dropped in, and the end of the first Tinkertub battle. Shantae's lighthouse seems to be less saturated, and Risky's portrait used a different one we haven't seen before. Until the next update. Next piece is a water-themed screenshot. The crabs and mermaids, despite being aquatic, are never shown underwater in the main game. A boss fight screenshot where Shantae fights off Risky's Tinkertub. Risky's sprites seem to be behind the tub, and there's some dark smoke coming from his feet and behind the bridge. The bombs the Tinkertub is shooting aren't large cannonballs, but smaller cherry bombs. In the final, both the Tinkertub and Risky do tend to rotate around, but this is a static image. This screen and pumpkin fields may look fine on the surface, but some things to note. The bomb-throwing scarecrows are sporting a different color palette. The pillars are brighter, and here's the nutty thing. The place originally had layers, because those pumpkins in the background behind the platforms are darker in color. And there's also a path there too. It's hard to see. Another water-themed screenshot, but Shantae surrounded by mermaids and a cliffside. The water isn't that deep either. Second to last screenshot. This bit in Tangle Forest looked a lot busy. You got 4 green goblins, 2 spiders, and what looks like 3 playfields with fog clouds. Last screenshot is a Squid Baron fight. The arena took place in a more compact environment, and Squid Baron looks like he's summoning one squid offspring at a time. In the final, the arena doesn't have a ceiling. The bridge tiles span across the whole room, and the walls are then lavender and purple brick rocks. There's no big ass flower, but there is a big ass rock hiding behind the bushes. Also in the final, Squid Baron spawns several squids in sequence. Here's another GBA screenshot of Shantae Advance, with enemies lined up to get blasted, without the IGN watermark. Then lastly, this beta screenshot of the GBC title, which doesn't look like much, but note the no item in the item box, lack of lives, and 10 max hearts. Note that this is the beginning of the game. Now some concept art. Here's a handful showing a couple rooms and some rough Shantae sketches. The first one is the import room, where it's supposed to have 2 extra women in the background. Second is the shop, where most of it is used, but the art extends further to the left, showing that Shantae was meant to walk through a door, but that got cut, likely due to being easier just to move her off screen. In Nintendo Power, we got a pair of art for the Tinkertub, Tinkerbat, and Shantae's mermaid form. Now speaking of Shantae, I have 2 rough reference sketches. The earliest DeviantArt iteration, I know this is a Photoshop, shut up. And last but not least, an early Shantae design, in an ungodly high resolution of 4879 by 9976 pixels. Whoever designed to make art in this kind of resolution has a mental disorder. I mean, god, look at these jagged pixel edges. Anyways, I also got the title art in full. and more pleasing to the eye. Since the main Shantae episode is about, well, not just the GBA and DS, I'll add the follow-up on those teeny tiny screenshots from the PS1 iteration, with higher quality screenshots. Spoilers, Choom, they're also mock-ups. Source from this book called The Art of Shantae. This group of 12 screenshots now looked obvious. For starters, the HUD isn't varied. It remains for this player's 8 health circles, with 1.5 of them shaved off, an item icon that's always empty, and 2 lives. I wanted more details, but there's no digital copy online. Even the, quote, unconventional sources only gave me half Genie hero artwork in the GBC game manual. Yeah, I'm serious. So I spent almost $100 on that book where these high-res screens came from, and a good excuse just to have it on my shelf. Turns out buying it from Udon's website was the wisest move, because the eBay listings were asking for over $400 in leaf money. That's without the shipping, mind you. So I delayed you the updates so I can get to this. Book came in just before I started editing this video. There's only some creasing on the hardcover, mainly the edges, but that's fine by me. There's a lot of neat stuff in this here book, but I want to show you the 9th page. These are the screenshots now in a better resolution. Header's called a 1995 game pitch, and this extra I find a little more illuminating, stating that this was first planned to be an SNES title. But assuming that this is a little too late to make an SNES game, where the PlayStation and Sega Saturn was already out at the time. The first 4 screenshots are her animal forms: elephant, tiger, spider, and monkey. The tiger form got cut. This one is her harpy form facing off a boss fight. In the original pre-Risky plot, there was going to be 3 djinns Shantae has to fight, and this dragon snake woman is allegedly one of them. These 2 screenshots seemingly took place in the same town, assumingly the early basis of Scuttletown. The first screen is Shantae, quote, bathing, with the mayor here telling her to relax and recover. The second one, this civilian wants to know why the royal castle isn't sending any more supply wagons. The next 2 screens took place in a similar location with a broken bridge, hazardous water, or tar, and fighting off monsters. The first one is Shantae hair whipping one of the bog monsters, and the other she's staring down at this ghost mole about to toss an axe. Note that she's wearing purple instead of red. The last 3 screens where her adventures involve going through hot deserts, cold frigid mountains, and lush green forests. I don't recall if Shantae ever had any swinging mechanics. So yeah, a surprising amount of elements from this did eventually get carried over to the GBC title, like the elephant, monkey, spider, and harpy transformations, hair whipping, live system, and even some environments. The various monsters shown only existed in these screenshots, and never materialized or possibly remade as other enemies in future titles. Before you ask me about if there's anything Shantae Advance related in this book, well, sadly no. The only mention was in the pages related to Risky's Revenge, but there's an interesting tidbit on what the original plot of the episodic version of the DS game was about. The episode names are named after the 3 worlds from Kid Icarus. The first episode is the Overworld, where the main plot is unknown, apart from the fact that Shantae lost her magic and gets killed by Risky. Episode 2, Underworld, is where Shantae has to fight her way out of the game's interpretation of Hell, and Episode 3, Skyworld, is where she presumably get her magic back in an early interpretation of the Genie realm. There is one more to bring up, and what if I told you that this is a screenshot from the Wii version of Shantae? Searching it up will bring you zilch, but this here is indeed real. If anyone would show this off, I bet that this is nothing more than a bare-bones tech demo, like the one DS build we showed earlier. Unfortunately, that one has yet to be surfaced. Now, I bet that some of you are disappointed that I didn't get to the builds of Risky's Revenge, despite what I said on THPS. However, I'm also working on Season 2, Episode 2, Gran Turismo 2, whilst editing the second part of this update as we speak. Hopefully those videos will come out on time. Next video is Gran Turismo 2, and then Risky's Revenge builds, and hopefully, Shantae advanced if Limited Run would get it shipped on time. May is only a month away, lads. And I'll see you later. Bye.